Perplexity just released something called Perplexity Computer, and this is not a chatbot update. This is a completely different level. Here's the simplest way I can explain it. You know how a regular AI answers your questions? Perplexity Computer doesn't just answer, it actually does some work in the background. You describe what you want done, walk away, and come back to finished results. And it doesn't just use one AI to do it. It orchestrates the best AI in the world for each specific part of the job. If you need deep research, Gemini handles it. If you need video, well, that's there. If you need speed, you got Grok. You need long documents, ChatGPT. All of them working together automatically on your single request, and it can run for hours or days or months. You can even schedule tasks in, and you can tell it, for example, to build 3 landing pages. Get it built, right? Tell it to give you a daily AI news brief every morning. It shows up. Tell it to track your competitors. Done automatically. We are testing this thing live. I want to see how far we can push it, what it can actually build, how long it runs, and whether it lives up to the hype. Let's find out together. So this is the new update from Perplexity Computer, as you can see. And this is basically like a combination of different AI models used inside AI. Now, if we actually go over to Perplexity Computer over here, it's available on the Max plan. So just to be very clear here, you do need the Max plan to use this. But I will say the more I test it, the more interesting it becomes and the more powerful I realize it is. When I first tested it, I was like, it's okay. But actually, it's really, really good so far. So you can connect it to different apps here. And I want to show you some of the example tasks I've actually built with this. So for example here, and literally all I do is I just give it a prompt and then I go off, walk away, close the tab, and it's working off in the background like an autonomous AI agent. So for example here, I said, create a beautiful dopamine-inducing website that's fun and amazing for this. Then I inserted the information about the AI Profit AI automation community. As you can see, it went off, built it, I closed the tab, I didn't even think about it again. And then boom shakalaka, we have the website ready to go. And it actually looks really nice, as you can see right here. It's pretty nicely designed. We could go full screen on that bad boy if we want to. So it's pretty cool. And also we can export this, so we can download it as a HTML and then we can upload that HTML to wherever we want. So if we wanted to deploy this on, say, Netlify or something like that, we've got it good to go. And the design is really nice, and it just did it all in the background for me automatically, which is really cool. It's very, very autonomous, to be honest. And it's great for building out projects. That is just one example, but you can see it's looking pretty nice so far. Let's take another one. So we actually built a snake game over here. We said build a snake game that's super dopamine inducing. You know, the snake leaves rainbow trails, blah, blah, blah. And it created this game. Now, what I also like about this is when it generates the apps, it's basically deployed and you can just come back to this thread later on with it ready to go. So you see here, it says deploying the snake game. And then if we click on this, we've got the game ready to go. We can download it. And we can also share this as well. So if you click this link, you can make it shareable. And then, for example, if we share this tab here, we've actually got the game deployed full screen, and people can access it just by using that shareable link, right? It looks really cool. It's pretty interesting, and literally it was created in one single prompt. I was barely even trying to use this, but it's pretty fun, and it can deploy games and that sort of thing. So just to recap so far, we have built websites, we've built games. All of this worked first time round, which is pretty crazy as well. And if you go back to our task list here, you can see all your history of what's been created previously. So here is the snake game, as you can see. And then you can click through this and start playing it and whatever, right? Pretty nice. Now, if we go back here, we can also, for example, check out this app that I built. This is a Pomodoro timer app, as you can see. If we open this up, just to demonstrate to you that you can actually build apps and useful stuff with this as well. I actually use timers like pretty much all day when I'm creating tasks. So this is something useful to me. Along with the website that we built, these are real use cases for real stuff I would actually use this for. It's not just like theory. So if we click on this one, for example, it's built out the app, as you can see. If we click on play or start on this, you can see the timer running. And then you can switch between deep work at the top. You can reset it, start it, switch between shorter timers, etc. And it's pretty easy and simple to use too. If we have a look at this one, this is a habit tracker app. Really like the idea of this one. So you can track your habits with it. And you can see here that we've got this sort of nice confetti animation when we use the timer. You can add new habits here. As you can see, everything works perfectly. And that's the crazy thing about this is, like, I haven't seen any bugs. I haven't seen it break. And it seems to build each tasks within, like, I would say 15 to 20 minutes. So you can literally just go off, do something else, close the tab, forget about it, and then come back to it later, and it's ready to go, right? It's all shareable. You can export it, you can edit and change things if you want to. You can upload files, add files from the cloud, etc. And this is without even using the connectors, right? Bear in mind, it's got access to, for example, like Gmail, Google Drive, Box, Outlook, Notion, etc. And then you've got a list of all your files in the back end here as well. So these are all files that have been saved. So all the games and the websites and the apps that we built are all saved over here too. Two more things that I want to show you. So we actually built a cyber space invaders style game. So let's have a look at this. So you can see that working like this. This one, I will say, I'm going to be 100% honest with you, it feels a little bit laggy when you test it out, as you can see with the effects. But if you wanted to change it, you would just go inside here and say, like, okay, it's a bit laggy when I use it. Can you fix that? Right. And then you can just fix any bugs that you see along the way too. Right. And then the final one that I was going to show you is a slideshow presentation. So you can do PowerPoint presentations like this. The prompt that we used for this was like an example one. So we actually copied an example one from the live example section here, used it to create this PowerPoint presentation. It's all neatly designed. It's all looking good. It created all the content, the design, the images, everything else directly inside this PowerPoint, right? Pretty insane. So that's essentially how it works. You've got new tasks, files, connectors, live examples. So you can actually pull in and see what other people are building over here. And then if you want to just try this task yourself, you can click on start task. If you want to skip to the end, see what the end result of this example is, you can click on skip to the end here. But either way, it is really, really good so far. The first time I used it, I was not that impressed. The second time I used it, I realized, right, if you give it more time, then you give a prompt to it, and then you walk away, it seems to get a lot better, right? So I've actually got a full guide on this, as you can see right here inside the AI Profit Boardroom. But the point here is that with Perplexity Computer, you've basically got a multi-agent business framework, right? Now, if you're wondering, okay, how does this work? Why is it different? Well, Perplexity Computer, which was just launched a day or so ago, it was built by Perplexity AI, and it may be their most ambitious product to date, right? So here's a simple way to understand it. The old AI, you type a question, AI answers, you do the work, right? You get that standard in ChatGPT or Claude or something like that. The new AI, you describe the outcome you want, AI breaks it into steps, AI assigns those tasks to specialist models, AI does work, and you review the result. It's really about going from like just getting quick answers or a little bit of research to having something that can just go off and be very autonomous. Now, Michael says, how does Perplexity compare to OpenClaw? Is it still miles off, or is OpenClaw accelerating with its lead? The thing that I'm finding with OpenClaw, right, is that it breaks a lot. It's very, very buggy. Whereas you build something like this, and you can see the number one, you get your own cloud computer with Perplexity, so it's not running locally, it's running in the cloud, and also it saves all the stuff that you've built previously, right? So you can easily come back to it and organize it and everything else, right? You kind of have like a nice mission control here where you can look at your tasks, your files, your connectors, examples, etc. Right? So it's a lot easier to navigate. It's a lot easier to look at what you've previously created. It's a lot easier to organize than something like OpenClaw. However, what I would say here is that you don't get as much customization, right? So you're sort of limited to the way Perplexity builds it out. However, if you want something that's smooth and fast and simple and easy to set up, then you would use Perplexity Computer. If you want something that's maybe more technical, a little bit buggy, but you can customize it more, then you may want to stick to something like OpenClaw. I would say that's the biggest difference. Bear in mind, OpenClaw is open source, whereas, for example, Perplexity is a private company. So let's talk about the 19 model stack and what's actually running behind the scenes. So you got, for example, Claude, you got Gemini, you got Grok. I haven't tried Veo 3.1. I don't know if it can generate images. I wonder if it can generate videos too. Let's just go over here and just say, let's just as a test, create a video of a cat eating a pancake, which is my standard test for video creation. That is the benchmark, the Goldie benchmark for creating videos. And then it loads the skill video production, and it can generate videos as well, which is pretty awesome. So it seems to be able to generate images, videos, presentations, websites, apps, tools, games, almost anything that you can think of, which is pretty amazing. Also, bear in mind, like all these skills are built in, whereas with something like OpenClaw, you have to add the skills yourself, right? Which requires more work, requires more APIs. Even if, like, for example, let's say Perplexity, you have to subscribe to the max plan to use this is a little bit expensive. Well, actually, if you're using this a lot and you get all the APIs added in automatically, then in some ways it's going to be cheaper, right? So, for example, with OpenClaw, I've spent like $38 in one day using the Claude API with OpenClaw. So it kind of is, it can work out cheaper, is what I'm trying to say. Plus, you got 13 more models running in the background, depending on what the task needs to be. And the system is like model agnostic, which means as better models come out, Perplexity swaps them in. You always get the best tool for the job without having to manage any of it yourself. Now, you might say, how is this different from Claude Cowork, OpenAI Operator, and OpenClaw? Well, number one, OpenAI Operator is something that I just don't use anymore. Like, it was way too slow for me. OpenClaw runs locally on your machine. You get deep access to your files. You control the models, but you have to configure everything yourself. Perplexity Computer runs in the cloud, so Perplexity manages the infrastructure, the integrations, and the model selection. You describe the outcome, it handles the rest. Claude Cowork and Claude Code are specialists, deep document word coding, single model depth, etc. Because you only get Claude inside there, right? You don't get multiple models. Whereas with computer, you get multiple models. You get 19 different ones, right? And you can see here it's generating video, as you can see. So I've actually got a 30-day plan. If you want to master Perplexity Computer, you can see we have prompts for every single day of the plan right here. If you want to implement this and really master it, it's inside the AI Profit Boardroom. And, let's just talk about the beliefs, because this is the new empowering beliefs you need to win with this stuff, right? So the old belief, for example, was some people said, I need to understand AI to use it. This is a belief that really keeps most people where they are. All you need to do is just tell people what you want, tell the computer what you want, and it goes off and does it. So the new empowering belief is like, you don't really need to understand AI or how AI works. You just need to describe what you want. Like, someone who's never used AI before, but knows exactly what they want, could get a lot out of this model. Other people say, well, I'm too late. The people who win with AI already started years ago. Let's talk about Sam Walton, who opened Walmart in 1962, right? His competitors had decades of head start, but it became the biggest retailer in human history. So the point here is, like, you're not too late. You're exactly early for this tool, right? Launched 48 hours ago. And the new empowering belief really is like, the best time to start was yesterday. The second best time to start right now. And right now, this tool is brand new. The third belief that I would say is, like, some people will say, well, these tools are too complicated for someone like me. But Perplexity Computer was actually built specifically so that non-technical people could use it, right? You describe an outcome, it builds a workflow. There's no code, there's no setup, there's no configuration. If you can type a sentence and you can tell it what you want, you can use this tool. So the new empowering belief really is like, if I can describe what I want, I can use Perplexity Computer. It was built for people like me. And you can see here that it's actually generated the video directly. So we've got the video generated with AI using Perplexity Computer. So it can generate videos, images, everything else. Pretty amazing. And I've actually got 100 prompts inside this guide too, if you want to check it out. So just to recap everything we've covered today, Perplexity Computer launched on February the 25th, 2026, right? It's brand new. It is a multi-AI agent system that orchestrates 19 frontier models, including Claude Opus, Gemini, Grok, ChatGPT 5.2, Vera 3.1, and more. You describe an outcome, it breaks the task into steps, assigns specialist agents, and delivers results while you do other things. It can connect to Gmail, Slack, Notion, GitHub, Salesforce, Outlook, and 400 other tools. It can run for days, months, or hours without you touching it. It was built specifically for non-technical users, and it's available now to Max subscribers. Ernesto says, well, nice to see you again. Good to see you here too, Ernesto. Thanks for joining. And if you want to get all the resources from today, you can get that inside my AI Profit Boardroom community. This is a community focused on helping you save time, scale, and grow with AI automation. There's 2,500 members inside there, which means that you can post questions, you can get help, you can get support whenever you want to. There's always people online ready to help. And you can see inside the community here that you can actually get a daily accountability group as well, right? So if you have goals, if you need to stay focused, if you struggle with information overwhelm, etc., you can join this group, post in here, and get help and support whenever you want to. Inside the calendar, you can jump on live video calls. You can jump on coaching calls 4 times a week and ask questions, share your screen, etc. You can also meet people in your local area who are doing similar things to you. So all you do is you zoom in on your area. You can DM people, ask them to jump on a Zoom meeting or meet in real life. And we actually have over 100 and 30 pages of testimonials from people winning with this stuff, right? So if you feel like you're struggling with AI, if you're wondering, okay, is it just Julian who's getting results with this stuff? You can see everybody winning, all the testimonials inside this document that show you that you can get results with AI automation too, right? So also, just to add here, inside the classroom, you can get my latest trainings. So, for example, you can go from beginner to expert with AI automation and learn how to build your first AI agent in under 5 minutes. You can also get my best playbooks inside this section that shows you how to automate Instagram, Shorts, newsletters, Twitter, AI avatar videos, etc. Inside the SOP updates, this is where we update every single day with new guides. So I'm always testing new automations, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't, and sharing with you the most important stuff that I actually released with video tutorials, 30-day plans, hundreds of prompts for every single update that comes out, and a full step-by-step guide. And you can see here, we just update this every single day with the new stuff that comes out. So that's all inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Feel free to get it, link in the comments description, or go to aiprofitboardroom.com. Nimbus says, just join the community. This is awesome. Thank you so much for joining, sir. And I really appreciate that. There's a brand new extension for OpenClaw with a huge list of skills that you can automatically install directly into OpenClaw, right? And it's called Awesome OpenClaw Skills. As you can see right here, this is a GitHub with tons of different skills that you can automatically install. For example, for images and video generation, apps, notes, data analysis, AI and LLMs, etc. You see all sorts of crazy stuff that you can add inside here. And this just makes your OpenClaw 100 times more powerful. And most people have no idea it happened. So there are now over 2,868 free community built skills available for your OpenClaw. And you want to think of skills like apps for your phone, except instead of downloading apps to play games or check the weather, you're downloading superpowers for your AI assistant. Skills that let OpenClaw book things, search the web, build websites, control your smart home, generate videos, manage your calendar, and that's just scratching the surface. In this curated list of the best 2,868 skills, the ones that community actually uses and trusts, organized by category. So, for example, you got marketing, coding, automation, research, communication, even gaming. There is a skill for basically anything you can think of. And the best part, you can install these pretty quickly, which is what we'll test out today. We're going to go through this list live together now, find the hidden gems, install them live, and see what they can actually do. By the end of this video, your OpenClaw is going to be doing things it has never done before. Let's get straight into it. One thing that I want to say here quickly before we go into this is that the skills in this list are curated, not audited. So they may be updated or modified or that sort of thing. So you always want to check the skill files. You can use a couple of different options right here for testing this out. So for example, like Agent Trust Hub, you've got the skill security scanner as well. So just be careful before you do install this stuff. But I like to just test things for you and share that. If you don't feel comfortable installing anything, you can just watch my videos and learn from them instead. All right. So we're going to get straight into this. I'm going to go over to OpenClaw, as you can see right here, and then let's get started with installing this GitHub. We're going to take the link for the GitHub, and I'm going to say install these skills. And that should work. Well, let's see what it does. Usually, when it's installing something big like a GitHub, then it takes a little while. In the meantime, we can actually browse through and see what we've got inside here. So, for example, you've got like a skill creator skill, which is for creating effective skills. If you're wondering like what each of one of these does as well, actually, this is useful for you. You can always check the skill MD file. So you could just install like one of these skills if you're not sure, etc. But basically, this is a catalog of skills, right? So how this works is like you can take each one of these skills, and then you can run this inside OpenClaw and ask it to create this skill directly. If we actually go to OpenClaw to try and install the repo, it says the repo is a catalog, right? So you don't install them all at once. You just pick whichever skill you want to use and then install it from there. So if we go back to the skills list, like for example, this one, if we wanted to install it, we should be able to grab that, copy the information from the page like this, and then say install this skill. And then it says, do you want it installed globally or do you just want it installed inside the workspace? So I'm going to say install it globally. And again, like always check the skills before you install this stuff. You can run it through, for example, Claude, copy and paste the skill MD before you start using it inside OpenClaw and just check, is it okay? Is it legit, etc. Right? Have a look through, see what the skill MD does. So if we go back to OpenClaw here, we can say install it globally. See the copy pasted skill MD file above. So whilst that's waiting to load, let's have a look and see what else we've got on the list. So we've got like multi-coding agents, which allows it to run Codex CLI, Claude Code, OpenCode, or PyCoding. What else we got here? MCP Builder is pretty cool. So it's like a guide for creating high-quality MCPs so that you could use that inside OpenClaw as well. There's all sorts of interesting stuff. These are just coding agents and IDs. You also got, for example, let's have a look through here. We've got ClawBot tools. So like Agent Manager, as you can see. You've got the cost report, so that tracks usage costs, which could be quite useful. The cron job creator, all sorts of crazy stuff. Like, look at this one. This is interesting. The cron job mastery guide. Let's open this up and see what this skill does. So this allows you to master OpenClaw's timing system, so you can use for scheduling reliable reminders, setting up every so often maintenance, and understanding when to use cron versus heartbeat as well, right? And then it's got a full guide for OpenClaw on exactly how to use this skill. And then if we go back to OpenClaw, it actually says, do you want me to verify it by reading the skill MD or not, right? So it's installed the skill here, as you can see, and then we've got that installed directly into OpenClaw. So this is all free for you to use. You've got all these different skills, all this stuff that people have set up to improve it. You've got, for example, like tons of marketing ones as well. So for example, like blog to Kindle, you could create Kindle books using OpenClaw, which is pretty crazy. What else we got here? Email sequence builder. So all sorts of marketing skills. If you're a marketer or you're marketing your business or you're trying to get more customers, this could be really useful. You got the SEO Optimizer Pro skill here. Let's open that up and see how it goes. So we'll take that skill like so, and then we'll go over to OpenClaw and we'll just install that one as well. And we'll say install this. You can actually see when the skill was last updated as well, which is useful. And then you can see all the documentation guides here. So you've got the changelog, the tags, what the current release does. So for example, for this SEO skill, it can do technical SEO audits, it can do AEO recommendations, content readability analysis, etc. And then you can see all the cool stuff it does here, right? And then it's installed that. So you can install all of these skills in like one click just by copying and pasting the GitHub link and the information from the GitHub page. And then you can just pick and choose whichever skills you want. I wouldn't recommend choosing them all. I would actually just recommend looking through the list and going, okay, which ones are the most relevant to me, right? So for example, for me, I have an SEO agency. So installing the SEO related skills would make a lot of sense, right? Some other cool stuff that you can see here, you got like Ralph loops as well. what else we got inside the yeah, it's all sorts of cool stuff inside here. Calendar and scheduling, that sort of thing. There's so much here. So seems really cool so far. Again, always check the skills before you install them. Pretty simple and easy to use. I've got a full guide on how to use this as well, as you can see right here. But just to recap, this helps you turn OpenClaw into a fully automated business system using the Community Skills Vault, right? Now, what is the Skills Vault? So OpenClaw runs locally on your machine. On its own, it's already powerful, but the Skills Vault makes it more powerful in the best way, right? Think of it like this. OpenClaw is learning new skills and just upgrading all the time each time you add stuff inside here. So, for example, if you're running a business, well, the most useful skills and categories that would be useful for you are, for example, like search, AI, browser automation, marketing and sales, productivity tasks, image and video generation, all sorts of cool stuff like this, right? Now, you might be thinking, okay, why is this different from other stuff? Well, if you've already got OpenClaw, it's powerful and it's useful, but it doesn't have all these skills pre-installed, right? So it doesn't know how to do a lot of workflows. It's just kind of guessing. Whereas each time you add a new skill, you're training on how to do that specific thing, right? And again, like just be careful when you install this stuff. And if you want a 30-day plan, we've got a 30-day plan with example skills and stuff you can add inside here as well for using this stuff. But yeah, it's really easy to add these. I mean, even if you're not technical, you can just add the skills. These are all free that you can add as well. And I would just pick and choose the ones you want. You don't need to install like all 2,800 skills, right? That would be crazy. I also have a list of 100 prompts you can test out these skills as well, as you can see right here. And just to recap, here's everything that we covered today. So what the OpenClaw Skills Vault actually is, OpenClaw is a locally running AI system that operates on your machine. The Skills Vault is a curated collection of over 2,800 community skills sourced from ClawHub's registry. These skills extend your agent's capabilities, connecting it to external services, automating workflows, and performing specialized tasks, as you can see with OpenClaw. Now, why it's different is like most AI tools, inside, well, with OpenClaw, you've got like a blank canvas, and this trains up the blank canvas to be way more powerful. And if you want to install any skill, literally all you do is you can run this command, or you can just paste the skills GitHub repository link into OpenClaw. I'd recommend that approach, to be honest. I think that's fast right here. So thanks so much for watching. If you want to get a full guide on this, it's all inside the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description. We have new guides inside here every single day, as you can see. So for example, today we've already added 4 new guides based on the new automations that came out, and we update this daily. This is my AI automation community on School that helps you save time, scale, and grow with AI automation. We have a supportive, helpful community of 2,500 people, which means there's always people online to help you. So if you post any questions inside the community, you get help and support whenever you need it. We also have a daily accountability group. So if you struggle with information overload or overwhelm or anything like that, you can ask questions right here. Inside the calendar, we have weekly coaching calls. You can jump on weekly video coaching calls and get help, meet the community, ask questions, share your screen, etc. If you want to meet people in your local area, we've got the map, so you can zoom in on the map and ask questions. You can DM people, ask if they want to jump on a Zoom call, that sort of thing. We also have over 130 pages of testimonials from people getting results with our school communities, as you can see. So it's pretty awesome. For example, like Eric landed a new client. Russell was selling AI avatar videos to clients. Dan was in the AI boardroom for 2 weeks and landed his first customer. So there's a lot of people getting awesome results, which I love. And then also inside the classroom here, you can see all of my best training. So for example, if you want to go from beginner to expert with AI automation and learn how to build your first AI agent in under 5 minutes, you can do that right here. If you want to get my playbooks on, for example, how to automate AI avatar videos or Instagram or Shorts or X and Twitter, you can do that with this section here too. If you want to learn, for example, all the latest updates each day and stay updated with the new stuff that comes out, you can see this section right here with the new updates. And then additionally, if you want to get more clients for your agency, you can check out the agency course right here. You can watch about the coaching calls there if you want to too. And you can also learn how to grow with AI SEO. This has a ton of workflows for helping you rank number one with Google and other search engines like ChatGPT and that sort of thing. If you want to see an example of our results, you can see previously we were at like 8 clicks a day before, and now we're getting anywhere between like sometimes 780 clicks a day, which is pretty crazy. So traffic has gone up nicely since using AI SEO. And also inside this section, you can learn how to grow a YouTube channel with AI based on what's working for me. So if you want to get access to this, you can get access inside the link in the comments and description, or just go to the AIProfitBoardroom.com. MaxClaw versus OpenClaw. This is a new update from Minimax, as you can see right here. And this literally just dropped like 48 hours ago. It might be the biggest threat OpenClaw has ever seen. So it's called MaxClaw. And here's the thing, it's actually built on OpenClaw. Same framework, same skills, same power, but Minimax took all of that and did something OpenClaw hasn't been able to do, which is they made it super simple, right? So you don't need to set it up. There's no terminal, there's no server, there's no technical headaches. You just go to a website, click a button, and then get access. And you have a fully running OpenClaw style agent live in the cloud 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even when your computer is off. It can connect to Telegram, WhatsApp, Discord, and Slack. Over 10,000 AI agents already built on it, and it remembers everything. So every preference, every conversation, every task can get smarter the more you use it. So the big question we're answering today is if MaxClaw does everything OpenClaw does, but without all the setup headaches, why would anyone still use OpenClaw? We're going to put them both to the test right now and find out. So if you want to get access to the MaxClaw, which you can see, then you can go to this link. So you go to agent.minimax.io/max-claw. And then from here, we can click on start now and get access to it, right? So you just click to this and then we should be able to get access. Now you do need to upgrade to get access to this. So I'm going to try it right now. Just be careful of selecting the monthly if you just want to test this out. So it defaults to yearly, which you probably don't want. And then for here, we're just going to click on subscribe and test this out. LinkedIn user says this one, right? That's the one. All right, so now we've upgraded and you can see we've got access to MaxClaw, like you can see, and then you can switch between the default configurations here, right? So it says start your Claude journey. Minimax agent seamlessly integrates popular experts cloud deployed OpenClaw. Start with single click and power your own personalized 24/7 assistant, and then you can select a configuration. So you could go with, for example, like Visual Lab, Trend Intel, multi-agent stuff. You've got, for example, industry research expert, topic tracker, and image craft, right? I'm just going to go with the default for now, but you get a choice of different experts you can use when it comes to setting up your MaxClaw. So you can see it's deploying now. I wonder how long this is going to take. I'm actually tempted to set up a timer. I would be, but it seems to have just been done in like 10 seconds actually. So that was super fast and easy. And now it says meet MaxClaw, chat right here, no setup needed, blah, blah, blah. We can also link it to Telegram directly as well. And then we can give it a try. So let's try and connect this to Telegram. And see if we can get started with this. So we need to create a bot, which I'll just do in the background. These are the instructions on how to set up the bot if you want to start using this with MaxClaw. And then once you've done that inside Telegram, which I've done in the background, I'm going to paste in my token directly into MaxClaw. And then once you've done that, it will ask you to add a pairing token as well, right? A pairing code with MaxClaw, which you can just paste into the chat. And now if I share my screen, you can see we've connected MaxClaw to Telegram, which is pretty nice. So that was really easy to set up, which is awesome. And then if we go back to MaxClaw inside the chat here, we can now access this on my mobile device using Telegram. Super simple to set up. Plus, we've set up the gateway in like 10 seconds. So it's a lot easier and a lot cleaner than setting up, for example, something like OpenClaw. So if you're not that technical and you want something quite simple and easy, this might be one of the best ways to do it. Let's just test if it can do stuff. So if we go inside the chat here, I'm going to say, okay, can you create an image and a video of a cat eating a pancake, just to test if it can actually generate images and that sort of thing. I'm not 100% sure if it can or not. When you set it up as well, it will ask you like, okay, who am I, that sort of thing. So you can give it a name and all that sort of thing. It's just I've done that so many times that I want to skip straight to actually doing stuff with this and testing out. And then you can see it's typing here. So it seems like it's beginning to do that in the background. Same on the chat here. So you can see it's already generated the images and it's got access to this image skill, which is cool. The other thing that I noticed as well is like it's a lot cheaper than using something like Manus, right? So Manus has the same sort of capabilities. So if you go to, we've got Manus, Skybot was another example as well. Manus, for example, each day, what it does is kind of in the same way it can generate videos and images and that sort of thing. It was really easy to set up. But Manus is about $49 a month. Whereas if you're using MaxClaw on the basic package, I think it was $19 a month. So it is quite a bit cheaper. Bear in mind, I've spent with OpenClaw like $38 in one day on the API before. So even if you're using the free version of OpenClaw, you can spend a lot on the API costs. So now it's beginning to generate image to video as well. So basically generated an image, generated an image to video, and then it should be able to give us the image links inside the chat. So this is an example of the image it generated. It's a cat with a cardigan eating pancakes. And then if we go back inside Telegram here, you can see that we've got the image and the video generated. Really simple and easy to do. So it works really well. I mean, it's not broken. Just to recap so far, we set up OpenClaw in like 10 seconds. We connected it to Telegram in about a minute. We can already have pre-built skills inside there. So for example, generating images and videos and that sort of thing. A Minimax agent itself is pretty cool. So if you haven't used Minimax before, like this is Minimax Lab with MaxClaw, right? That's the open source, that's the version of OpenClaw, their alternative to it, right? But if we actually go inside the task history here, you can see that we've got, for example, these websites that were built, apps that you can build, etc. And you can, I assume you can do all of that directly inside Minimax as well, right? You can even do like AI SEO for you. He created this Yeti vlog, as you can see right here for me as well. You can do like daily AI news breakdowns as well. And what we could actually do is we could schedule in tasks with MaxClaw too. I just want to check if that works. So if we say, okay, schedule a daily task at 4:30 a.m. each day, Bangkok time, search for the latest AI news on this, and then deliver the report, and we'll see if that works. And if you go back to the chat here, you can see that it's scheduled the task, and the first run will be tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. And then we've created this cron job, right? A cron job is just like a scheduled task. And then it's got the request and the response, the files it's going to generate. And you've got like this sort of virtual computer on the right-hand side with the chat in the middle. And then you should get that via Telegram as well each day too. So it's really cool, super easy to use, way less buggy than something like OpenClaw. Obviously, it's not open source and it's not running locally. So those are the two downsides. But if you want something maybe even more powerful than OpenClaw, simply because it's got all the skills built in and it saves you a lot of time because you don't have to set up everything yourself, then this is a really good way to do it. You can also go to Explore Experts over here, and you've got a bunch of other like tools and different stuff you can do. So what this means is essentially you can use these experts directly inside MaxClaw to generate the outputs. So for example, you could use the landing page builder or the PowerPoint generator, etc., inside MaxClaw to do whatever you want, right? So you could take that and then use that inside MaxClaw, which is pretty awesome. So just to recap here, what can MaxClaw do? Well, it can browse the web, it can read and send emails, it could run code, it can summarize PDFs, it can build custom skills, it can work 24/7 in the background, and it can talk to you via your favorite messages. The problem with stuff like OpenClaw is that it's powerful, but it's a bit of a pain setup, right? To run it, you have to have a computer. Quite often, you have to get API keys. You have to do your own maintenance updates and that sort of thing. And also, there's been a few security risks with OpenClaw. Whereas, for example, with MaxClaw does everything for you, right? So OpenClaw is great, but 99% of people don't even know how to set it up. This can do it for you, right? And it just launched, literally. So it's made by Minimax. The setup time is about 10 seconds. It lives in the cloud. It's included with the Minimax Agent Basic subscription. And it uses Minimax M2.5, which is one of the most powerful APIs around there. It's literally right up there with something like Claude. And then you can see the comparison in the table here. So if we look at setup difficulty, MaxClaw is faster. If we look at setup time, MaxClaw is faster. It runs on the cloud. The biggest difference is cost, of course, but you're going to pay for APIs with OpenClaw. Yeah, it's a very decent alternative. So which one should you use? Should you use OpenClaw or Minimax? So use MaxClaw if you're new to agents, you don't want to touch code or services, you want something that works in like 10 minutes, you're happy with a fixed monthly cost, you're using it for like business and content creation tasks and that sort of thing, right? If you want to use OpenClaw, I'd recommend it if you're like a developer or you're comfortable with command lines and terminal because you have to use that a lot with OpenClaw. If you want full control over which API you use, if you're previously obsessed, if you want to build custom skills and workflows, if you don't mind maintaining your own setup and dealing with the bugs, then you would use OpenClaw. The main thing that we're seeing overall as a trend, and this is the bigger picture right now, is like what we're really watching is AI going from a chatbot you talk to a worker that actually does things for you. And we've seen that with Manus, KimiClaw, MaxClaw. We've seen that with Claude Cowork. Claude Code released remote control, etc. So all of these updates are leading to more autonomous agents that can actually do things in the real world for you. So that's the overall trend, and I would expect that to accelerate and continue as we keep going through. So OpenClaw proved it was possible. MaxClaw proved anyone can use it. And this is really the beginning of having your own digital team, agents that don't sleep, never get distracted, and handle repetitive work 24/7. So that's exactly how to use MaxClaw. That's a comparison of MaxClaw versus OpenClaw. I really like it. First impression is like MaxClaw is awesome. It works. It works first time round. It works nicely inside Telegram. It works nicely inside the chat. It was super easy to set up, and it also completed all the tasks really easy as well. Sam says your avatar is scary on point. What do you use? So we actually have a full guide inside the AI Profit Boardroom on how to do that. So if you go inside the playbook here, you can see how we use AI avatar videos. We've got a full guide right here. If you want to know how we create these screen share videos as well, we have a full guide on in a video tutorial plus the step and tutorial right here as well. So if you want to get that, it's all inside the AI Profit Boardroom along with the guide and the notes from today. This is my AI automation community that helps you save time, scale, and learn AI automation so you can actually implement it. Inside the community, we have 2,500 members, which means that you can always get help and support whenever you need it, right? There's always people online who are ready to answer your questions. You can post questions inside the community, you can post your wins, share what you're working on, etc. We actually have a daily accountability group as well, so you can share your goals, what you're working on, and then be held accountable to that. The cool thing about that is like there's so much noise, there's so much crazy stuff going on in AI automation. As entrepreneurs, I think we all struggle with shiny object syndrome. We struggle with getting distracted. We struggle with information overload. And this helps you just keep everything organized and help stay focused on what really matters. We actually have over 130 pages of testimonials, as you can see inside this document, of people getting results with AI automation. So if you want to learn this stuff, I would say the AI Profit Boardroom is one of the best places to really learn it, as you can see. And if you go inside the calendar here, you also get weekly coaching calls. You get 4 weekly coaching calls where you can jump on a Zoom call, ask questions, share your screen, meet the community, meet cool people, and also get help if you're stuck with anything. Inside the map here, you can zoom in on your local area, DM people in your local area, ask them to jump on a Zoom call, that sort of thing, which is pretty cool. And then additionally, inside the classroom, you get access to all my best training. So, for example, if you want to go from like beginner to expert with AI automation, you can do that right here. Plus, you'll learn how to build your first AI agent in under 5 minutes. If you want to get my best playbooks on, for example, creating avatar videos or automating Instagram or Shorts or X, etc., you can get that all right here. If you want to get the daily updates, including the guide from today, you can get that inside this section. As you can see, so we have a full guide on MaxClaw. We have a guide on Perplexity Computer, OpenClaw, awesome skills that just came out. Literally daily, I look at all the automations that came out, and then I create a video tutorial and a full step-by-step guide on exactly how to use this with 30-day plans for each process as well. Additionally, if you want to learn how to get more clients, you can check out the agency course. If you want to watch the coaching course back, you can check that out here. If you want to learn how to rank #1 inside Google and AI search engines, check this out. And then also, if you want to learn how to grow a YouTube channel, you can check out this based on what's working for me. Also, we have a 6-hour course on how to use OpenClaw here too, with step-by-step guides and tutorials so you can learn this stuff alongside me. So that's inside the link in the comments description, or just go to the aiprofitboardroom.com to get access. Today, we have a brand new update from OpenClaw. They're updating it every single day, and you can see the new updates right here. So this is the 26th of February update with a bunch of new improvements, like you can see. So for example, Codex WebSocket, first transport, ACP support, Android app improvements, agent routing, CLI, and a bunch of security fixes too. If you want to get a full list of what's happened and what's changed, you can see it right here. And if you want to learn how to update this, I'll show you right now. So what you can do is you can go inside OpenClaw, like you can see right here. And if you want to just enable auto updates, you can go down the left-hand side, go to the config, and then scroll down, and you can enable auto updates, which means this will automatically update when new updates push through. If you want to do this manually, what you can do is you can copy the details of the GitHub link, the changelog, and just say update to the newest version. Sometimes this breaks with the gateway, but let's just test and see how it works. There's also, you can use terminal commands as well to update too. Again, sometimes that can break too. So I'm just going to use the web UI for now. And that will just load in the background, as you can see. In the meantime, let's run through what the new updates mean for you, how it works, etc. First things first, what even is OpenClaw? So this is like a super smart AI assistant that can read your messages, reply to people, browse the internet, run tasks automatically, and even control apps on your phone. And OpenClaw is the software that operates all of this, right? So it connects your AI to places like Telegram, Slack, Discord, WhatsApp. You can use the web UI as well. And it just got a major upgrade. So here's what's changed. Number one, it's improved the external secrets management, like you can see. So it now has a dedicated system just for handling secrets safely. It's called the OpenClaw Secrets Workflow. So it's got like audits, configure, etc. And it basically means like if you're storing like API keys and that sort of thing, it means the setup is more secure. Also, you've got ACP thread bound agents. Now, if you're wondering what an agent is, this is an agent that's acting independently. So instead of just answering one question, it can take a series of actions like sending a message, checking data, running a task, and reporting back. Now, you might be wondering, okay, well, what's a thread then? A thread is a conversation, like a WhatsApp chat or a Slack channel. A thread is the ongoing back and forth between you and the AI. So what actually changed? Well, before this update, agents and threads were kind of separate systems. The AI might run a task, but it wasn't cleanly tied to the conversation it came from. Now, agents are first-class runtimes inside thread sessions. That's a fancy way of saying the agent is now like a full citizen of the conversation. It's not a separate thing that runs in the background. It's woven directly into the thread, right? So these agents can be spawned, created, and launched directly inside the conversation. Messages can be sent to and from it cleanly. It has lifecycle controls, meaning you can stop and start it whenever you want. And when it's done, it cleans itself up as well. Now, if we go back to OpenClaw, let's see what it's done. So it's still loading right here, as you can see. Hopefully it's going to start working. But sometimes it breaks. So we'll see. It might have broken again. Also got Codex WebSocket first transport. So when your AI talks to a service like, for example, OpenAI's Codex, it needs a way to send and receive information, right? And there are two main options, as you can see, right? So the server sent events, like this is the old way, like it's a bit slow. Basically, it's a bit one direction only. It works okay, but it feels a bit clunky. The WebSocket method is like a new preferred way. It's like a live phone call, right? So it's two-way, real-time, much faster, much more reliable. What does that mean? Well, basically, if you're using ChatGPT Codex, it will run faster, right? Faster responses, fewer drop connections, more stable coding sessions. So if you're using ChatGPT Codex inside OpenClaw, which I do for OAuth, then it tends to run better. Now, if we go back inside OpenClaw here, you can see that we've upgraded to the new version. The top right now says the 26th of February, as you can see. So it has upgraded right there. So that seemed to work. You just need to wait a few minutes for it to get sorted out, as you can see. And the way that we did that, just to recap here, is we pasted in the GitHub link to the changelog and then said update to the newest version. And that seemed to work perfectly, which is awesome. And then there's a bunch of other updates. So for example, the Android app as well. So OpenClaw can connect to your Android phone as a node, basically meaning the phone becomes part of the AI network, so the AI can interact with your Android device, which opens up more automation options, right? So what's new? Well, it can do device status and info commands, and it can also do notifications. Now, why does this matter? Because if you're building any kind of AI powered phone automation, think like monitoring workflows, autoresponders, um, Android devices are much more active inside that. There's a bunch of other stuff as well, like agent routing, CLI, bunch of security fixes, etc. So, quick summary of what to do. You can update, especially for the security fixes. If you saw API keys in the config files, you can migrate them to the external secret system if you want. And if you run Android devices as nodes, you can explore the new device status and notification features. And if you're using ChatGPT codecs, you can enjoy faster connections using the WebSocket. So that's basically it for the update. You know how to update it, you know what it means, you know how it works. And it literally just came out, like, I think it came out when, like, 1.5 hours ago, maybe 2 hours ago, something like that. But you've got all the new updates and you know exactly what it means right now. So thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already, check out the AI Profit Boardroom. This is my community that helps you save time, scale, and grow with AI automation. We have 2,500 members inside there. So that means you can post questions, you can get help, you can get support inside the community whenever you need it. You can also join our daily accountability group, and that just helps you stay laser focused on your goals, which is awesome right here as well. On top of that, inside the calendar here, you get 4 weekly coaching calls. So you could jump on live coaching calls, get help, get support whenever you need them. And we actually have over 130 pages of testimonials from people winning just like you with AI automation. So you can see here, for example, inside the community, we've got all these testimonials from people who are winning. So, for example, like Russell is selling AI avatar videos. Eric is onboarding new clients. Dan has landed his first customer. Just loads of cool stuff, loads of people winning with this stuff. I mean, Paul created a GitHub called Agent Vibes, which got over 100 stars. So people are creating real stuff. I mean, Paul, he actually created an auto blog with NA10 that ranked #1 on Google in like 90 minutes. So it's pretty crazy what people are doing with this. And it's awesome to see a community of people who are helping each other, learning and growing together. Inside the map, you can also see here that you can zoom in on your local area, meet people locally, DM them, ask questions, that sort of thing. And then also inside the classroom, you get access to my best training. So, for example, you can go from beginner to expert with AI automation and learn how to build your first AI agent in under 5 minutes. And we have video tutorials on all of this. If you want to get my best playbooks and systems that I use personally for my business, you can see them here. So, for example, like automating videos with AI, or shorts, or newsletter automations, or Twitter, etc. That's all inside there. If you want to get daily updates on the new automations that actually matter, we had new guides and video tutorials inside this section. So, for example, this new OpenClaw update came out 2 hours ago. We already got a full guide and a video tutorial on it. MaxClaw, the same. Perplexity Computer. Perplexity Computer is really cool for building out projects like coding, apps, tools, websites, landing pages, and games. I tested out and I've got a full video tutorial and a step-by-step guide here, as you can see. And we just add new stuff like this every single day. So whatever is useful and I actually find good, I will share directly inside this section here, just to keep it updated regularly. You can also, for example, learn how to get more clients with the agency course. We actually record the coaching calls and you can watch them back there. You can learn how to rank #1 with AI SEO using this section. And you can also learn how to grow a YouTube channel with AI based on what's working for me inside that section too. So that's all inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments description, or go to the AIProfitBoardroom.com. Claude versus OpenClaw, who wins? So Claude just dropped 2 brand new features this week, and they're going directly at OpenClaw's biggest advantages. So here's what just happened. Claude now has remote control. as you can see right here. And essentially, that means you can kick off a task on your computer, walk out the door, and keep controlling Claude from your phone. That means no more having to work at your desk. With Claude, your AI keeps working on your machine whilst you're at the gym, in a meeting, on the code, on the couch, etc. And you're watching it happen in real time from your pocket using Claude Code. And then they also released scheduled tasks. Now, this is a new update for Claude Cowork, which means you can schedule recurring tasks inside there. That means Claude can now wake up every single morning and automatically do your work before you even open up your laptop. Daily briefings, weekly reports, competitive research, all done automatically on a schedule you set once. And if that sounds familiar, it's because that's basically what made OpenClaw so special. So today we're asking the big question: does Claude, with these two new features, compete with OpenClaw, or does OpenClaw still win? We're going to go live, test both of them side by side, and just see how they perform. So you can see an example of recurring tasks inside Cowork here. I actually tested out, and it's really good. It's really easy to use, pretty simple to set up, and doesn't take a long time at all. But the main thing to note here is, like, when you're using stuff like this, it's basically taking the biggest advantages of stuff like OpenClaw and then leveraging them inside something like Claude Code, which people already use right now. So let me show you an example of how this works. Mateo says, joined last week to the AI Profit Boardroom. I guess this is what early looks like in tech. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. But yeah, for sure, like, if you're watching this and you feel behind, don't, because you're really, really early on this stuff. And it's amazing what you can do right now and what you can learn right now. So let's talk about this, right? So how do you do this? Well, number one, you need to be on the Max plan. It is coming to Pro soon. And then you go inside your terminal. All right. So we can open up a new window here inside terminal, and then we can open up Claude Code. As you can see, we may need to log in again. I'm going to try that in a sec. And then once you've done this, you can actually use the Claude Max plan. And if you're running, say, a session inside Claude Code here, you can type /remote control, right? And this allows you to connect the terminal to remote sessions, but only you can access that URL, right? Or you can type in /RC, right? Which is the same command. What this means is that you can generate a URL that you can access from other places. So, for example, on your mobile device by logging into your Claude account. Why is that so useful? Well, that's basically the power of OpenClaw, right? OpenClaw allowed you to operate this AI agent autonomously whilst you were out and about. So if you were in the gym, for example, you could use OpenClaw. Now, in the meantime, the other thing that you can do is you can go over to Claude using the desktop version. And they actually recently released, I think it was last month, Claude Cowork, right? Now, Claude Cowork is designed for anyone who's non-technical to be able to do tasks inside the computer, right? It just runs locally like this. You go inside Cowork, you would say, okay, um, find the latest AI industry news, or, for example, create a podcast about this, like you can see, or, for example, build out a tool, and it can do it all, right? Even if you're non-technical, even if you don't know how to use AI, or you've never used AI before, right? Now, with this new feature, you've got that power, but you can schedule it at any time. And the difference between something like, for example, OpenClaw versus using something like Claude Cowork is that Claude Cowork is obviously a lot more secure, whereas OpenClaw is something that is open source, and there's been cases where people had to be careful, right? So if we have a look at this example, you can see that I said create a scheduled task, and now we have this daily task running, and I just set it up once, and then it's running forever. Now, the other cool thing about using something like Claude instead of OpenClaw is that it doesn't break so much, right? And I don't need to use APIs. So you can see here that it's running now. Here's the task. and it's running the scheduled news task, and it's actually automatically just going through the news, searching the web autonomously whilst I'm talking to you. I didn't ask it to do that. I just set up the scheduled task once, and now it runs every single day. It's pretty amazing, right? And also, Claude is, from what I've tested, everything that I've tested, it's by far the most powerful API. It's the most powerful AI model in the world, right? And you can use it using your existing plan. So, for example, if you're using Claude Code anyway, or Claude Cowork anyway, then you can use this with your existing plan. You don't need to change any settings or anything like that. So it's super powerful stuff, really amazing to use. You can see that it actually does pull in the latest information, the latest news, etc. It gives you these really useful reports. You can build apps, games, tools. You could even schedule tasks like, okay, you could say, right, I run the AI Profit Boardroom.com. This is the AI automation community that I'm building. Come up with 5 new ways or 5 new automations each day or 5 new ideas that I could use to grow and get more customers, right? And you could just schedule that daily into Claude and it would proactively do this stuff, right? It's kind of like having an employee who never sleeps, never forgets anything, never complains, and just goes off and does stuff, right? So it's pretty scary how powerful this is. And honestly, it's way easier to set up than something like OpenClaw. OpenClaw will break on me all the time. And also, quite often, for most people watching, unless you've got a powerful computer, you're not going to be able to run like a Claude level local API, right? You'd have to pay for an API, which can get expensive. Okay? So here's the way that I look at it. OpenClaw is kind of a little bit scrappy. It's a really powerful tool, and it can do stuff that other AI tools can't. But Claude is a bit more established. It's a bit more cleaner. It's easier to use, and you don't really need to set it up, right? So the 2 new features that dropped, the remote control and the scheduled tasks, are super useful because they're basically leveraging the most useful features of OpenClaw and then building it into their own tool. So if we have to do a head-to-head comparison, let's talk about this. I mean, OpenClaw, they can both do the same thing. So they can work whilst you're away, you can operate from your phone, you can schedule automatic tasks. The main thing that I would say here is like one of the biggest issues with, for example, Claude on these new tasks is that you can't operate them via like Telegram or WhatsApp or something like that unless you connect like a NA10 automation directly with the API, which gets expensive. Whereas, for example, if you're using OpenClaw, that comes with that built-in functionality. And also you can customize OpenClaw a lot more. But overall, I would say like if you're already using Claude, you already love it like I do, then I'd probably use Claude and Claude Cowork and these scheduled tasks a lot more often. Right? The only thing that I kind of wish is like inside Claude Cowork, if that could just work inside the cloud, if I could just go to Claude AI directly and it was inside there, that would make it even easier to use these new features. But overall, it's pretty cool. And also having to set up remote control, sometimes it doesn't work or it can get a bit messy and that sort of thing. So that's just another sort of barrier. So you can see, for example, here, it's taking a while to connect. But yeah, overall, so which one should you use? Well, use OpenClaw if you've already set up on it and it's working great for you, right? You love its specific workflow automation features and you don't want to switch tools right now. Use Claude if you want the smartest AI brain combined with automation. If you're just getting started and you want one tool that does everything, or you like the idea of a tool backed by a massive AI research company, and use both, which is what I do, if you're serious about AI automation and you want to test what works best for your business, right? And that way you have time to experiment and find out which fits your workflow. So the bottom line is OpenClaw built its reputation on doing something special, letting AI work for you in the background on a schedule without you hovering it. This week, Claude basically looked at that and said, we're going to do that too, right? Is Claude's version as good, better, worse? Well, that's exactly what we've looked at today. It really depends where you're at. The one thing that I would say here is, you know, the AI automation space is moving fast. So the tools that felt cutting edge like 6 months ago are getting challenged every single week. We've seen that with, for example, Minimax. They just launched MaxClaw. We saw that with Kimi. They just launched KimiClaw. You've got that with Manus. They launched their own version. So I think pretty soon you're going to see this with ChatGPT as well, where there's like an OpenClaw version for each of these APIs, and you just pick whichever one you like the most. So thanks so much for watching. if you want to get notes and if you want to get a full 6-hour course on OpenClaw and how to use it, you can check that out right here. We've got full guides and setup. We actually add new updates on everything OpenClaw inside the community too. So, for example, recently there was a new OpenClaw update that just came out 2 hours ago. We've already got a full guide on it, and we update the AI Profit Boardroom link in the comments description, or go to aiprofitboardroom.com every single day with the new and latest updates, as you can see. Another option is, for example, Perplexity Computer, and we've already created a couple of video tutorials on that right here, as you can see. So, if you want to get all of this, it's inside the AI Profit Boardroom community. This comes with 2,500 members, and there's always people online, which means you can learn, you can grow, you can ask questions, you can get help and support whenever you need it. You can post inside the community, share your wins, etc. We have a daily accountability group, like you can see right here, so you can post your goals and stay focused if you want to. And then also inside the calendar here, you can join these live video calls, ask questions, get help, get support whenever you need it. And if you're wondering, okay, like, this is great for you, Julian. You know, you test this stuff every day. You understand it better than most. That's great for you. But what about like everyone else? Well, you can see here that we actually have over 130 testimonials from people who are winning with AI just like you, right? So you can see, for example, here, Russell is selling AI avatar videos and getting results with that. Eric landed and onboarded a new client. You've got, for example, Dan, who landed his first customer in 2 weeks after being in the boardroom. So this is basically an infinite scroll of people who are winning and getting results with AI automation, just like you want to. So if you want to learn this stuff, check out the AI Profit Boardroom. Inside the classroom too, we have all of these different courses that can show you, for example, how to go from beginner to expert with AI automation and build your first AI agent in under 5 minutes. On top of that, for example, you can check out our playbooks and learn, for example, how to build our AI avatar videos, or Twitter automations, or newsletters, or shorts, or even automate Instagram, as you can see. We additionally have this section here with the 6-hour course on OpenClaw, and I just update this every single day with new guides and video tutorials. So today we've already added 4 new guides on this stuff, and you can see that whenever there's a new useful update, we create a video tutorial on it and a full step-by-step guide on exactly how to use it, with a 30-day roadmap and also 100 prompts you can test out as well, as you can see. T says, Julian, I appreciate your content and being so early with the updates. I've learned a lot from you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, and I'm really glad that it helped you. Nimbus says, awesome stream. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm really happy to help, and I'm glad that, you know, you're finding this useful and that it's actually helping you all the time. And then inside the SOP update section here, we've got the new guides. You can also, for example, check out the agency course and learn how to get more agency clients, as you can see. You can learn how to rank #1 with AI SEO here, and also how to grow a YouTube channel using the YouTube section right there. So feel free to get it. It's all inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Appreciate you watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye-bye. By the way, some people are asking, like, you know, do you do like human only content and that sort of thing, like without the AI avatar stuff? So we actually have two channels. We have the Julian Goldie podcast, as you can see right here, where we release new podcasts each day. And these are fully human videos, as you can see. And then we also have the rundown channel as well, right? So these are like clips of human only content. And we also release shorts inside there as well every single day. So if you want to get like human only content, you can check out both of those channels, and I appreciate you watching. See you on the next one. Cheers. Bye bye.